We're going to begin with a little bit of breathing to ground into the body, to settle and relax the mind, and to just lay a nice foundation for our practice. Probably less than 5 minutes of breathing today, and then we'll move and open and strengthen and stretch and become a little more aware and get in touch. And then we'll end with a little short guided meditation in Savasana and then some silence. So I know I've already gone to my mat and you guys are probably on your mats, but if you want to drop in a donation, feel free to do so now, or you can at the end, or you don't have to, right? All optional. But sometimes people want to just chill out in Savasana for a little bit long at the end because it just feels so yummy and juicy. So there was someone who said it's their first yoga class. So please, let's all have that beginner's mind, right? As if this is your very first yoga class, because really your body, your mind has never been how it is right now today, right? So we always want to have this beginner's mind approach so that we're just really taking it as it comes, so that we don't have any expectations. Pretend it's your very first time. You don't know how things are going to feel, what's going to happen, right? Because really you don't. And just moment by moment, we'll just see how it unfolds and what we need along the way. So anything I say is a suggestion. Take what you like, leave the rest, change whatever you need to make it suit you. All right, so come into a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on a block. You can sit on your mat any way you like, yeah? And then just take a moment here to ground into your seat where your bottom is touching down, whatever it's against, and just see if you can feel into the stability of the earth beneath you supporting you here. The stability of your long, tall spine as the top of the head rises. Let the shoulders relax and fall back. Let the hands settle anywhere comfortable. And if it's available to you, allow your eyes to softly close. And then let all the breath just flow in and out of the nose. And without even changing your breathing yet, simply observe the way that it flows. And I know that for many of us, as soon as we bring our awareness to the way the breath is flowing, we want to start to make it a little smoother, a little longer, a little deeper. So feel free to do that already if you'd like. For many of us, our natural breathing pattern is a little stunted, a little short or choppy, and it doesn't bring us all of the vitality and health that it could. So simply lengthening the breath brings us into a calmer state, a more healing state. So start to smooth it out and lengthen it now if you haven't already. And keep the face muscles soft, the shoulders relaxed, the hands settling. The spine nice and long so that the breath can flow freely. And so now you're just going to imagine that your torso, your body is like an empty glass, yeah? And we're going to fill that glass with water. We're going to pour the water out, water being the breath. It's just a metaphor that sometimes is a little bit helpful. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we're going to do it. So as you inhale through the nose, you're going to first let the lower belly fill, then the mid-belly, then the ribs, and then all the way up into the chest from bottom to top. And as you exhale, you're going to empty from the chest, and then the ribs, and then the upper belly and lower belly. Like you're spilling out water from a glass until it's all the way empty. All right, so let's try that now. All the breath flows in and out through the nose. So together, let's inhale, low belly, mid-belly, ribs, chest, pause. Exhale, chest empties, ribs draw inward, middle belly and low belly empties. Pause in the emptiness. And then again, inhale from the bottom up, belly, ribs, chest to collarbones even. Pause at the top. Releasing smoothly and slowly from the bottom down. And pause when you're all the way empty. Now your pace is your own. It doesn't have to match mine. Filling up that glass like you're pouring water in so it fills from the bottom up to the top. And then pausing at the top, you might even let that water spill over a little bit. Shoulders drop. And as you exhale, like you're pouring water out of a glass, it pours out from the top and then all the way down until there's not a drop left. Pausing, emptying, relaxing. Keep that going from the bottom to the top. We smoothly breathe in. We grow taller and wider and fuller, more expansive. There's a pause. Again, it doesn't have to match my pace. Releasing smoothly and slowly from top to bottom until you're all the way empty. And it can be a very temporary pause. So there's no strain or struggle. Keep this going. Your pace, your rhythm, smoothly filling up, growing taller, pausing at the top and relaxing. Emptying slowly and smoothly. And pausing when you're empty, staying relaxed. So keep it going in your own pace and rhythm. Keeping the face really relaxed, the shoulders heavy. And just notice how it feels. If you want, at the bottom of your next exhalation, when you're all the way empty of breath, you can pull the navel in. If you want, it's an option. And then release it to fill again. And let's just do 2 more rounds. Your rhythm, your pace. So this really serves to bring your mind into your body. The breath is like that connection between mind and body. Really serves to bring you into the present moment. When you're finished with that last round, just take a nice free breath in. You can open the lips and let it go. Allow yourself to settle back into your seat. Allow your eyes to gently open. And then just take the shoulders in a couple circles. Maybe move the head in any way you like. Sway the torso if you want. And just allow yourself to sort of loosen up if you did pull any tension into the body after that. So come back to that smooth, natural flow of breath in and out of your nose for the duration of our practice. I'm going to come off of my block and we're going to make our way up to hands and knees. So it's really nice just to take a moment here just to observe the effects of breathing consciously, mindfully, a little more deeply, smoothly, and fully, right? We wake up all kinds of sleepy places in the body and turn on our immune system, our digestive system, and just really become more present, yeah? So from here, we're just going to take the left toes to the back of the mat. So right knee's going to be under right hip, yeah? And then spin that foot down, that heel down flat. Lean into your right hand and lift up the left hand. And if you look hand to hand, see if maybe the hands can stack. That left hand stacks right over the right hand. And then if you can also, can you spin the right bicep a little forward as if you're opening a jar with that right hand. So the shoulder moves down the back and it's not hunched up to the ear there, yeah? And then hug the back foot against the floor. Draw the navel to the spine. And maybe let that left arm float back a little if it feels nice. To open the left side of the chest, and the heart a little. Just keep the navel hugging in for support so it doesn't hurt your low back in any way. And then let's circle the left arm, reaching it back, down, forward, and up. Nice big smooth circles, as if you're moving the arm through honey, right? Not just air. So as if the air is dense and you can sort of feel the movement. Now, if you want to turn your head or wrist, go for it. Good, and then the next time the left hand reaches forward, can you really reach it forward as you press that left foot down? Pull the left fingers away from it. Draw that right shoulder down the back of it, hiked up. And take a nice big breath into the left side of the body here. Good, and as you exhale, just take the left hand back to the floor. Take the left knee back to the floor, and we'll do one cat-cow. Heart comes forward, belly drops, inhaling, shoulders back, sway back. Round the back as you exhale. Might feel nice behind the shoulder blades or into the low back. Pull the navel in. And back to a flat back. And then right toes step back. So that right leg is out long, the heel pivots down, and the right hand lifts up. Yeah? And then take a look hand to hand. Right, spread from hand to hand, opening the front and back of the heart. So the right hand is active, the fingers are spread. It's not just, you're not just drooping, yeah? And then imagine turning the left bottom bicep forward to draw the shoulder down the back, hug the navel in, squeeze the floor with the back foot. And once you have that, let the right arm float back a little. And if you want to turn your head, if you want to add anything, right? And if you have a shoulder situation that's not allowing you to do this, then obviously modify or skip it. It's all good. You don't have to do everything. Let's start to circle the right arm back, down, forward, and up slowly, mindfully, not flailing it, yeah? So each position of the arm is felt, is sensed. That bottom shoulder slides down, the belly hugs in, the back foot hugs the floor. You might turn your head or wrist if it's nice. And then the next time right arm reaches forward, really reach it. Pull some space through the right rib cage. As the foot hugs and the hand reaches, there's some opening in the right intercostal muscles, the whole right waist. Take a nice big breath there. Beautiful. Right hand comes to the floor. Right knee comes back to the floor, and cat-cow one more time. Inhale, belly drops, collarbones widen, and exhale, head drops, shoulder blades separate. Navel can pull in. Good. Flat back on your inhale, and then come back to that little cow pose. The belly drops, the sit bones lift, the collarbones widen. From here, just curl under your toes, hover the knees off the floor just an inch, just an inch. Feel the belly pull in to support it. Good, and then slowly lift up toward downward dog. So the hips are gonna pull back. Feel free to widen out the feet or walk them farther back or farther forward for this first downward dog of today's practice, right? Can you not make it be your deepest down dog? So back off a little so that we can already start to practice some compassion and some tenderness. We're not forcing or jamming or doing too much too soon. So I like to lift up my heels and just stretch the arches of the feet, bend one knee at a time, loosen up, maybe wiggle the head. Imagine each hand spinning outward so those biceps spin a little forward and there's a little more broadening of the upper back here. And then after some fidgeting, some moving if you needed some, just a couple of nice breaths to settle in, smooth. Very nice. Let's lift up the heels, bend the knees, and look to the hands as you inhale, hips pull back. And then just slowly walk up to the top of your mat as you breathe out. Take your time. And then lift up the heart on an inhale, flatten out the back, come halfway up, shoulders loop back. And drop into a fold as you breathe out. And drop your heavy head. Yeah, clasp elbows if you want, sway a little if you want. Keep the heels heavy, the hip creases kind of lifting toward the sky so that you feel maybe a nice little release in the hamstrings or the low back. And then again, let the breath just spill through you, smoothly, effortlessly. All right, release your hands or elbows and just reach the fingers to the back of the mat. The top of the head lifts. So you're in a flat back now, but the arms are like airplane wings. I like a little bend in my knees here so that it doesn't tug on the hamstrings. The belly can hug in, the shoulders pull back, the thumbs turn out. Pressing into both feet. On an inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, rise up to standing and reach up. And then hands come together at the heart. Exhale, prayer pose. Beautiful, you guys. Shoulders loop back and down. Belly hugs in. Top of the head lifts. Take a breath, breathing up the body all the way from the heels now to the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, all the way down the back body to the heels and into the earth. Reach up as you inhale. Fold forward on your exhale. Drop that head. Good. Flatten the back as you inhale. Hands can float to the shins if you like. And then just hands to the floor as you exhale. Step the left foot all the way back. So step it back enough that the right knee's over the right heel. Lean into the left hand and lift up the right hand. So it's just an easy twist. And if you need to drop the back knee, drop the back knee. No worries, same thing. Good. Hug that right hip back. Let the right arm float back a little if you can. Engage the back thigh if the knee's not down. One more breath here. And then right hand releases to the floor. Good. Now drop the back knee if you haven't already. Pull the belly in and float both arms up. So they call this crescent moon. Yeah? And then we're going to take the arms in a cactus shape. So elbows are going to bend. And take a moment just to look elbow to elbow, right? So the elbows and shoulders are the same height. Can you drop the shoulders and then take both elbows back, 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 back so that there's an opening across the collarbones, across the front of the heart. So you don't want this to pinch your low back. Hug the navel in for support. Breathe. If you want a little more, hands can come behind your head interlaced, elbows back. You can lay the head against the hands and keep the back of the neck long. And see if you can breathe up the body from belly to chest. And then down the body from chest to belly. Hug the navel in when you're empty. Take both hands up. Inhale. Good. And then hands to the floor. Exhale. Lift up the back knee and step forward. Flat back. Inhale. Lengthen out. Fold forward. Exhale. Drop in. Sweep the arms out and up, rise to standing, inhale, float up like a bubble, hands to the heart, exhale. Good, breathing up on an inhale from feet to head, like you're pulling energy up from the earth, down the back body as you exhale, back into the earth, settle, ground, soften. Good, reach up, inhale. And fold, exhale. Drop that head. Halfway up, inhale, hands to the shins. Hands to the floor as you exhale. Step the right foot all the way back, right? So left knee over left heel. Right hand stays down, left hand lifts up. So the tendency is for this right hip to droop, right? So the knee can come down if it needs to, no worries. If the knee's lifted, lift the thigh bone away from the floor. And then can that left arm float back a little, fingers spread, bottom shoulder down the back. Right? One more inhale. Good. And then left hand returns to the floor. Right knee drops to the floor. Belly hugs in and both arms float up. Crescent moon. Good. And then again, we're going to cactus the arms. So like a goalpost. Saguaro cactus, right? For those of you in desert, you know what those look like. Look elbow to elbow so the elbows aren't dropping, the shoulders are dropping, yeah? Palms face forward, and then elbows draw back. As if the shoulder blades get closer together, the front of the heart gets wider. Keep the shoulders soft, the face soft. Hug the belly in for support, you guys. Breathe into the heart. Are there any blockages there? Is it challenging to open your heart energetically or physically? It's okay if it is. Our hearts are tender. Go easy. Be compassionate with yourself. Hands can come together behind the head if you want. Support that head as it falls back against the hands. Support yourself. It's a practice of self-love, right? Self-acceptance. So that as we care for ourselves, we have more to give others, really. It's beautiful. Belly hugs in here. Arms lift up, inhale. Hands to the floor, exhale. Lift up the back knee and just step to the front of your mat. Good, halfway up, inhale, flatten out. Fold forward, exhale, empty out. And then again, arms float out and up, press and rise up, reach up, open up, fill up. Hands to the heart, exhale. Good, take a moment here standing tall, feeling the movement and energy of your breath, right? Up the front and down the back. Shoulders settle. Belly hugs in. Go ahead and reach up. Inhale. And fold as you exhale. Beautiful. Flatten out. Inhale. We're going to step back 1 foot at a time now to plank pose on the exhale. So holding the plank. And if you need to, you put the knees down. It's all good. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Belly hugs up to the spine. Both thighs active. And just hover the right foot off the floor. So if you need that left knee down, go ahead and take it down. And then as you exhale, see if you can take your right knee to the outer right arm. And then extend the foot back. Inhale, hover it, and set it down. Exhale. And then left foot lifts up. That right knee needs to come down, no worries. Left knee, outer left arm. Keep the face lifting away from the floor. Extend it back, hover it, and set it down. You're still in plank. Feel free to drop your knees, take a breath in, then lower down to your belly safely. When you get onto your belly, just pause. Reach your hands straight back toward your feet, thumbs out, palms face the floor, and just lift up the hands. You can lift up the feet as well if you want to. If it feels okay on your low back, keep the back of the neck long. Now, if you want more, fingers can interlace. You can lift the heart a little higher, shoulder blades get closer. If you want more than that, little challenging to take the hands behind the head and still lift the heart away from the floor. That's a little too much for me today, but it's there for you if you want it. Find your place. Good. Last breath in, whichever you chose. And then tops of the feet return to the floor. Hands come to the floor next to the ribs, fingers forward, ready for cobra. On an inhale, rise up to your cobra. Good. As you exhale, just roll down. Let's do one more cobra here. Inhale, roll up. Good. And then exhale, curl under the toes and make your way to down dog. You can come to bent knees first if you need to. It's all good. Let the breath flow. Good. From this downward dog, we're going to lift up the right foot to three-legged dog. Good. And then as we exhale, right knee, outer right elbow. And then again, three-legged dog, inhaling. Right knee, left elbow, exhaling. It doesn't have to touch. Who cares? Reach it back, inhale. And this time we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. You can carry it up there if it doesn't easily step up there. We'll pivot the back heel down. We'll gently pull the heart forward. See if this right hip can swing underneath you rather than all the way out to the right, yeah? And then you can either lean into the right hand and lift up the left hand and turn the heart to the left, or if that feels like a little too much for you today, right forearm comes on top of the right thigh and the heart turns to the left. And then spread through the left fingers, let that left arm float back. Bottom shoulder down the back, right? A lot of the same things that we just practiced earlier. And then we'll circle this lifted left arm around, maybe the head, maybe the wrist. Yeah. Just one or two circles, and then when you're ready, left arm reaches forward. Heart tries to spin up. So if the elbow or forearm is on the thigh, you can use that as leverage to spin the heart a little upward. If the hand is on the floor next to the foot, you can press the knee against the arm and use that as leverage. Pull the belly in, work the back foot as the fingers reach away from it. And then left hand comes back up to the ceiling on an inhale. Belly hugs in as you exhale. You're going to reach back and rise up for second warrior. Just checking the time. Good. Drop your shoulders. Left hand drops. Right palm up. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Good. You can take the right hand to the head to support the head. And just aim that right elbow up as you drop this right hip low. Keep the front knee bent. Keep the breath smooth and steady. Good. And then we're just going to go through those two, or actually 4 different poses. So release the head, right elbow to thigh or hand to the floor. And then left arm up and overhead. Inhale. Good. Left hand reaches back as you exhale, belly hugs in. You rise back up and then reverse the warrior. Inhale. Good, and then both hands circle forward on your exhale. Pause, just lift up the back heel. Go ahead and drop the back knee down. And then wiggle the right foot out to the right. Let the knee drop out, let the left hip dip, let the heart come up. You can release those back toes if you want to. Drop the shoulders. They want to come up to the ears here a lot. For me, they certainly do, so let them go low. Some people come onto their elbows here. If that's nice for you, feel free to do it. Let the front of that left hip release a little bit. You can turn and look over the bent knee if that's nice. And then look forward and wiggle the right foot back to the floor. Take the right hand outside of it, so you're framing the front foot, and then you're just going to shift your hip back and fold over that front leg. And just hug the right hip underneath you. Reach the hands forward if you want more. Take the hands farther back if it's too much and you want a little less. Can you let the head just dangle? Can you let the breath flow through you from bottom to top on your inhale? From top to bottom on the exhale, empty out. But there's no pausing here, just smooth. So you really link your mind back to your body. Stay connected. Good. Start to bend that front knee, hands on either side of the foot, back toes curl under, back knee lifts. And we'll just step right back to plank pose. Pause. Breathe. And let's play again. Right foot floats off the floor. Inhale. Right knee out or right arm. Exhale. Hover it back. Inhale. And plank. Exhale. You can do this with the knees down or not. Left foot up. Inhale. Knee out or elbow. Exhale. Extend back. Inhale. And plank pose. Exhale. Breathing in. Knees can drop first if you need to lower to your belly. Just the two cobras now. Roll up on your inhale. Roll down on your exhale. Elbows and shoulders back. Heart lifts. Inhale. Curl under the toes. Down dog. Exhale. Knees can drop anytime you want. So one of the biggest benefits of yoga, I think, and there are many, is just this ability to know what we need, right? To choose wisely for ourselves so that we don't follow blindly, right? I mean, if it feels good, try it out, or you can try it and then decide not to. But you start to learn what you need, not just on your yoga mat, but in your life, I think. So we get to know ourselves a little bit better. So left foot lifts up, three-legged dog, inhale. And then left knee out or left arm, exhale. Extend it back, inhale. That means you can skip these, right? Left knee comes across to the opposite arm, exhaling. Good, extend it back up on your inhale. And gently step it forward between the hands or carry it up there. Pivot that back heel down. So you're gonna lean into the left fingers, hug the left hip beneath you, and then let the right arm lift up. So you want that knee over the heel, not in front of it. A little bit behind it is okay. If it's too much of a bend, elbow comes on top of thigh. It's all good, same thing. Bottom shoulder down, heart spins up, back foot hugs the floor, belly in, circle around the lifted arm. So we set up for this earlier, right? You might want to turn the head or wrist, and then reach that right arm forward, away from the back foot hugging the floor. Can you use leverage with the left arm against the left leg, whether the elbow's there or the outer leg presses against the inner arm, to kind of spin the heart upward? And breathe into those right ribs a bit. Right finger's active. Good. Belly hugs in. Right hand comes up on your inhale. Reach it back to rise for second warrior. As you exhale, just keep that front knee bent. Press it outward a little if it's collapsing in. Drop the back hand to the back thigh, left palm up, reverse warrior. So I love to just support my head here. It's a different variation of this pose. Sometimes our necks hold tension. Let the head fall against the hand. Let the elbow lift as the hip dips. And there's an opening through the rib cage. Back shoulders relaxed. Breath is flowing smoothly. Front knee stays bent, tracking out. Yeah, good. And then go ahead and release the head. We'll go through the movements Left arm down, hand or elbow, right arm up and overhead. Inhale, heart tries to spin up. Reach it back, rise to your second warrior. Exhale, reverse the warrior, inhale. Beautiful. Circle the hands to the top of your yoga mat as you exhale. Pause, lift up the back heel, and release the back knee. Wiggle that left foot over to the left. Dip the right hip. Let the left knee drift out if that's nice. Melt the shoulders down the back. Release the back toes if that's available to you. Elbows are there for you if that's nicer for you. Whatever's appropriate, right? Just start to be aware, if you can, of not going too far, right? Like I said earlier, so that we practice compassion and tenderness with ourselves. Some gratitude, right? We talked about gratitude in the beginning. If certain poses are challenging, great. Can you be grateful for the challenges? Because that's usually when we grow and learn. It's not about being grateful for all of the wonderful things in our lives. It's about trying to be grateful for some of the things that are a little trickier, right? For the lessons we learn. Start to take that left foot back inside the left hand, and then shift the hip back and fold. So whatever tension or tightness or limitations you might feel in your body in these shapes, can you be grateful for those? Because guess what? They keep you more present. Can you be grateful for each breath that you can take in and release out? For clean air to breathe and a stable earth. That one's a little tricky, isn't it? For a free yoga class that's going to help you feel better. Or a very inexpensive one if you make a donation. Grateful for Insight Timer, for this community, for our time that we carve out on our mats. There's so much to be grateful for. Start to bend that front knee, you guys. Curl under the back toes to lift up the back knee and just step it back to your plank. I always forget what time I'm supposed to end these. Oh yeah. All right, hold the plank. Don't go anywhere just yet. If you want to play a little bit, bring the feet together, pivot to the outer edge of the right foot, stack the left foot on top and lift up the left hand. That bottom shoulder moves down the back. The hips lift away from the floor. You're welcome to take the top foot to the floor in front of you. Use it as a kickstand to lift that right hip away from the floor. That'll make it a little easier. Lift up the left hand, maybe let it float back. If you want more, a left foot can hover up away from the right foot to make it more challenging. Totally up to you. One more inhale wherever you are. And left hand comes down, plank pose. Take a breath. And then go to the other side. Outer edge of the left foot, left hand down, right hand up. Lift those hips, right? Maybe hover the foot. Maybe the foot comes to the floor in front of you to lift the hips. So can you practice compassion, meaning you're not going to overdo? And the way we usually know if we're overdoing is if the breath can't flow smoothly, right? When we're tense, the breath stops short. One more inhale. Plank pose, exhale. Breathe in. And then down dog, hips pull back. We don't have to lower after that. I know sometimes it's a lot. Good, and then let's just drop one elbow at a time to the floor. So they call this Sphinx, and if you can, the elbows are lined up with the wrists, forearms parallel. If that doesn't feel right on your shoulders, thumbs can touch. And then hips lift up and back. Let the heart melt toward the thighs, and then draw the thigh bones back. Let the heels dip. Drop the head, keep the neck soft. And breathe. If you want to play a little, you can hover the right foot up, three-legged dolphin, and set it down. You can hover the left leg up. Draw that right thigh back if you do, and then set it down. Good. Lift those hips away from the elbow tips. Inhale. And the knees to the mat as you exhale. Take them out nice and wide and just drop your hips back to your heels for a nice child's pose here. Should feel pretty sweet after that. And just feel the breath flow through you seamlessly and effortlessly. Let yourself settle and soften. Nice. And then let's just lift the hips above the heels. You can bring your knees right beneath the hips here. And let's just do a little shoulder stretch. Thread the right arm under the left armpit, palm up. Slide that right shoulder down the back so there's lots of space between the shoulder and ear. And then just let the back of the right shoulder rest against the floor, the right temple. And the left hand can come anywhere you need it for support. You can keep it right where it is, or you can lift it up and let it float back, or you can take it behind the back to let the left shoulder roll back, whatever's nice for you. Can you soften the right side of the neck, the jaw, and the face there? Nice, you guys. And then left hand comes back to the floor if you lifted it to come back up. Right hand down, and left arm is going to thread under. Lay on the back of the shoulder and ear. Slide that shoulder down. Soften the face and the jaw. Right hand can stay right where it is for some support. These are sometimes pretty intense, or it can float up and back or wrap around. Whatever is nice, yeah? Choose wisely. Let the breath flow smoothly. It's funny. All right, and then when you're ready, right hand comes down to come back up to hands and knees. All you're gonna do is crawl forward to roll onto your back. Sometimes it's a little tongue twisty. All right, so on our backs we go. We're gonna do a little bit of core work, and then we're gonna settle in and be finished. It's gonna be pretty yummy. So feel free to rock a little. Whenever I get to my back, I just naturally want to draw my knees in to create more length through the back body there. It usually feels pretty good. So go ahead and hug your knees in if you haven't. Lengthen the back of the neck by drawing the chin a little bit to the chest there. Good, and then keep both knees in and take your hands behind your head. Right, and just interlace the fingers. Let the head rest against the hands there. Keep the elbows really, really, really wide. And just know that you're not going to pull on your head. So you're going to lift your head away from the floor, but look straight up to the ceiling. Keep the elbows wide and the front of the neck long. If you look forward, you're going to pull on the head. Yeah. Pull the knees toward the chest. You're going to already feel your core muscles turn on here. And breathe. Start there. Yeah. Good, and then just lift your right foot straight up and slowly lower it toward the floor in front of you. And then exhale, lift it straight back up and bend the knee. Head is still lifting, front of the throat is long. Good, left foot comes up. You can flex the toes back. Slowly lower it in front of you. Pull that belly in and exhale, lift it back up. Both knees bend. Hug the knees in. Drop the head for a moment just to release all that. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, empty from top to bottom. Pull the navel in when you're empty. Lift up the head. Don't pull on it. Good. Now right leg just goes forward as you inhale. Knee back in. Exhale. Lift the head a little higher. Left leg goes forward as you inhale. Hover it, knee comes back in, lift the head a little higher. Again, right leg forward on your inhale. If it's too much on your low back, it can come at an angle. Knee back in, lift the head higher. Left leg forward as you inhale. Try not to pull on the head. Knee back in, lift the head higher. One more time. Right leg forward on your inhale, as low or high as you want. Knee back in, exhale, belly pulls down. Left leg forward as you inhale. Knee back in, exhale, release the head. Take a breath. And let it go. As you empty, pull the belly in. Lift your head. One more thing here. Right leg forward on your inhale. Turn to the left knee as you exhale. Back to center, knee in, lift up a little higher. Left leg forward, inhale, turn to the right as you exhale, pull the belly in, back to center, inhale. Good, right leg forward, turn left, back to center, left leg forward, turn right, back to center, keep it going. Extend the leg and turn as you exhale, back to center, inhale. Extend the leg, turn on the exhale, keep the elbows wide, back to center, inhale, one more. Good, rest the head, hug the knees. Whew. Doesn't look like a lot, but usually you'll feel those. All right. Feel free to rock a little if that's nice. And then we'll take both feet onto the floor, right beneath the knees there, and just lift up the hips, lift the middle back. If you can, if you want, you can take the hands behind you and interlace the fingers to walk the upper arms closer together and open the front of the chest. Keep the throat free. Soften the forehead. Press equally into the feet if you can. Can you press into those mounds under the big toe there? Smooth out the breath. Very nice, you guys. Separate the arms, the shoulder blades, and then just slowly lay your spine back down. When the hips land, take a moment to let them land. Wiggle the feet apart, bring the knees together to touch. Take your arms out in a big cactus shape or a goalpost, right? And then let both knees go over to the left and just pause. Turn the head to the right if that's nice. Let the whole torso fill up. And release. One more time like that. When you're empty, pull the belly in to bring the knees back up. Let them touch. So knees are together, feet are wide. And then knees over to the right. You can turn the head to the left if it's nice. And feel the whole belly expand, and then the ribs, and then the chest. And smoothly let the breath go. And you don't have to direct these. You can just fill up and release. Just stay mindful of making the breath nice and smooth. Belly pulls in when you're empty to bring the knees back up. Right? So use your core, not your low back. And when the knees come up, bring the feet beneath the knees. Cross your right ankle bone over the left thigh and hug your left leg toward you. They call this thread the needle as well. So back of the neck stays long, shoulders stay soft. So my hamstrings and hips are kind of tight today, so I'm clasping behind the hamstring. Some of you might want to clasp the left shin. So you're reaching through the hole that you're making between the legs with the right arm, and just taking the hands to hug that left leg in as that right knee splays out. You can flex the right toes toward that knee if you have any knee issues, so you support the knee. Notice often the chin wants to jet up. Keep the back of the neck long. Smooth out your breath. And just see if you can let go a little bit as you exhale of any felt tension, whether it's in the hips or the eyes or the jaw. Yeah? And then let's let go and uncross to recross over to the other side. Left ankle bone on top of the thigh. Hug the right leg toward you. Hamstring or shin. If you can't reach the leg, no worries. Just hover the foot off the floor. You'll still feel it. Protect that left knee. It's at a precarious angle by pulling the toes back toward it if you need to. Chin moves down a little. Shoulders, eyes, jaw, relax. Smooth out your breath. Stay in your body. The breath, as we said in the beginning, is such a great tether to bring your mind into your body. Good. Let go of the right leg, uncross the left ankle, take the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop apart. One hand to your chest, one hand to your belly, close your eyes. And if a hand doesn't comfortably rest on the chest and the belly, letting the upper arms or elbows rest on the floor, it's okay if they move somewhere else. But just touch yourself in a way that you can feel the movement of breath. Feel the belly expand first and then the chest. And then let the chest soften and let the belly soften. And one more time like that. When you're all the way empty, pull the belly in to bring the knees up. Very nice. When the knees come up, hug them back to the chest. Let's take a final happy baby, hands to the edges of the feet. If that's not available to you, hands can come behind the knees. And you're just moving the knees toward the armpits. If the heels can stack right above the knees, great. If not, no worries. You can rock a little if you want to rock a little here. And if you have long enough arms or short enough legs or whatever the case may be, you can grab the big toes and open the legs nice and wide, trying to play with straightening the knees and softening the shoulders. If not, hands just support the legs inside or outside. Good. On an exhale, belly pulls in and feet come up. Nice. And then hug the knees back to the chest. Keep the right knee in, extend the left leg out, and let it rest. Hold the right knee with the left hand, right arm opens out to the right, nice and straight, or in that cactus, whichever you prefer. Guide the right knee across your body into a nice, gentle twist. So wherever the right arm is placed, just let it get a little heavy. Let the shoulder drop. And then see if you can relax the fingers and the toes, the face. Turn the head any way that serves you best here. And see if you can feel and sense the smooth breath flowing in and out, so really seamlessly. And if the breath catches anywhere, just try if you can to smooth it out. So that as you exhale, you can really drop in and let go and soften. Feel free to sigh out the last breath if that's nice for you. And then hug the right knee back toward your chest. Roll onto your back again. And take the left knee in with it for just a moment. You can rock side to side. Keep the left knee bent. Extend the right leg out. Open the left arm to the left in whichever shape you choose. And guide your left knee across to the right. So sometimes there's a little resistance when we first make our way into these shapes, yeah? And then just allow yourself to soften. Fingers and toes, face and mouth, belly. Let the left shoulder get a little heavy. Decide how you want to move your head, which way it wants to turn that's comfortable. And then let the breath be your guide here, right? Let it help you soften. So with each exhale, just let go, just drop in, just begin to melt into the floor. Can you bring a little gratitude back into your mind's eye here? Just grateful for this time. Just to let go of any holding patterns, any tension, any resistance, any expectations. Let go of any complaining. On the next exhale, you can sigh it out if you want. You can draw the belly in to take the knee back up. And when you make it onto your back again, take both knees toward your chest. I like to give the knees a circle in both directions to massage the low back against the floor. Maybe wiggle the feet or head. And then you're just going to lift your head off the floor and see if you can draw your nose toward your knees. Doesn't have to touch. See how much you can wrap your arms around your legs so that you get really tiny, like you're just squeezing yourself into a small little ball here. And there's an opening through the back side of the spine. And then you might only be able to take a smaller breath here. That's okay. Breathe in. Hold the breath and squeeze every muscle you can think of, your toes, your fists, your face, your belly. And then let everything go as you breathe out. Open up into Savasana. Lay your legs out nice and long. You can take the feet wide, let them flop open. You can slide the shoulder blades down and let your palms spin up and allow the hands and feet to relax. Close your eyes and let all the muscles behind your eyes relax. If it's comfortable for you, you can let the tongue rest at the top of the mouth, the roof of the mouth. And that way, if the lips open and the jaw can soften, the breath will still flow in and out of your nose. And then just give yourself a moment here to land. If you need to move in any way, if you need to fidget in any way so that you can drop into stillness, give yourself that opportunity so that you can come into some stillness. So there's no movement in the body. And for some of us, this is really hard. We notice the desire to distract ourselves from stillness just because we're not used to it. And maybe you can be grateful for noticing that and challenging yourself to find a little stillness. It won't be for very long. Of course, if you have an itch or you need to move, no worries, you can. But try to resist if possible, as long as it doesn't build tension. And this time here on our mats, with our palms flipped up, soft and receptive. Our breath now not efforting in any way or being directed, but just soft and receptive. The body now not having to do or move or work in any way, just soft and receptive. The mind will follow. The mind is now soft and also receptive. Although thoughts will still move in and try to take you away, it's okay. Be grateful if you can for a healthy, active mind. Just see if you can allow everything to remain soft and receptive. Your body, your breath, and your mind. So that you can receive all of the goodness, all of the magic, and bring your awareness right to your heart center, where the heart is pumping without you having to direct it, where the breath is flowing without you having to control it. And maybe those are two things that you can be grateful for. A beating heart, working lungs. And imagine that you could drop your mind into your heart so that you can operate a little bit more from your heart center, from what you want, what your heart desires, rather than your intellect so much, because your heart is almost always going to lead you to what's best for you. The mind plays tricks on us a lot. So with your mind and your heart, can you conjure up some gratitude? Maybe for this moment, maybe for your health, maybe for your challenges. Maybe for your yoga practice and the benefits you derive. Maybe for any love in your life, past or present. Maybe for clothes on your back and food in your belly. Maybe just for the sun coming up every day and getting a new opportunity, a new day that so many don't have. Whatever comes to mind, whatever you can conjure up to feel grateful for, take a little time here to do that and notice how it feels. Feel it in your heart. And if your mind tries to take you away from this, very compassionately come back. And then see if perhaps you want to let go of any thinking. And just feeling. The feeling right now in your heart, your tender, compassionate, loving heart. How does it feel as the breath moves in and out of that space? So softly and smoothly and tenderly. Whether it's a physical feeling or an emotional feeling, just let yourself drop into that. And then at any point, you can let go of all of that if you want, or you can stay with it. As you just rest and receive all of the goodness that you have now conjured up for yourself in your practice. And just allow yourself to bask in it. To absorb it all and to enjoy it.